Welcome everyone, hello G1s, and here it is, episode 11 of the G1 Features podcast. Two ones, two hockey sticks. We have made it, once again. I'm just gonna keep doing this forever and ever because every episode is something special. Because I love doing this and I'm glad we keep doing this. And we just don't want it to ever go away. We're gonna do the same thing for episode 12, 13, 14, 111, whatever. Maybe I'm being a little too over enthusiastic, but I don't care. My name is Madhero. I'm the runner of G1 Features, and with me, as always, is Gear Turbo. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well.
That's good to hear. How enjoying the new PC Master Race?
Yes,
Or
I'm loving my consistent 60 FPS, which is
yeah,
not something all PS4 games can unfortunately claim. Just Cause 3.
it's funny that like the Wii U, for example, that can Nintendo's always been known to have pretty much consistent frame rates and consistent graphics and all that good stuff. But yeah, like it's such a big deal with the PlayStation and the Xbox, they continuously, have trouble. Like, oh no, it's actually going to be 40 frames ish per second, which was like a thing for Assassin's Creed Unity or something like that. Because yeah, there is that often a lot of trouble with that. And again, like, it depends on how much it bothers you. Like, I can see sort of difference between 30 and 60 frames per second in that 60 frames per second is much smoother. But, there's always the question of how much does it matter until it affects the actual game? Because Bloodborne, for example, is locked at 30 frames per second.
Which is super weird.
Well, it has to, like, I'm sure there's plenty of technical reasons why that's the way it is.
And in that regard, I bet a lot of people are hoping that there's going to be a PC version for it one day where it's not locked at at 30.
There's probably not going to be that, if only because it's funded by Sony.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, like, the Dark Souls port was pretty bad.
Yeah, the first Dark Souls port was bad.
Which is
The second one was
hilarious.
a lot better.
It
I
was
think the second one
hilarious,
was.
especially because the unofficial fix came out like less than an hour after it launched. That
Okay.
like unlocked the frame rate from locked at 30 to 60.
Okay.
I think the number was like 23 minutes. 23 minutes after its launch on PC, someone had released an unofficial fix to unlock the frame rate and go above 30.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that is a thing that happened because, it sucks, especially for the PC, people who, have plenty of power to go on in order to upgrade their experience of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, as someone who is not part of that master race, I did just get a fancy new laptop.
But let's be
And
honest, laptops aren't that great for gaming. And I
they're
say this
not.
as someone who has used a laptop for gaming for a very long time.
It really isn't, but then again, that's not what I'm really using it for. I'm more using it for stuff like video editing and all that jazz.
Oh yeah, laptops are great for video editing.
This one is actually meant for it, so it's actually so I'm having something that can hopefully function properly using it more so than the PC I currently use, which just it completely just like cries in massive agony whenever you try Adobe Premiere. Please stop! You're killing me over here. Like it just gets really loud and hot and all that stuff, and it's all not a good time. So hopefully this one will be better. But yeah. So with your fancy pants new PC that we talked about in episode 10, so it's already kind of a week old ish. Have you been playing anything more, or just sticking to the general?
I haven't really been playing anything new on my PC, no.
Okay.
I mean, I stopped playing Magic 2015 and started playing Magic Duels, which
Okay. What's the difference?
Magic Duels actually works.
Oh,
In the
okay.
sense that Magic 2015 it doesn't seem to have properly functioning online capabilities, probably because it's like last year's version.
Okay.
But Magic Duels is like it's the free to play current version that they keep updated and stuff. So
Okay, and that one works fine.
yes, I'm also really bad at it, but that's no surprise.
Okay. Anything else you've been playing now since you haven't been using the PC then, or
I've been playing a small bit of Bravely Default. And when I say small,
oh
I say very small.
yeah,
No,
still you're playing it.
yeah, I mean, I was against Bravely Default for a very long time. And honestly, I'm still not super hot on it. Again, I've only played it for maybe an hour tops. Um,
Why were you so super against it? Because I do remember you saying that at some point, but that was like years ago because Bravely Default came out in 2013, I believe, or
something along those lines.
2014. Yeah.
I said that it was basically like Final Fantasy 3 on DS, and I've already played Final Fantasy 3 on DS, so I don't need to play it again. Um, you know,
That I disagree with.
the Brave and Default system, it's kind of neat, I guess, but it doesn't really add too much. Um, yeah, so far, not a big fan of the writing, not a big fan of the voice acting, really not a big fan of that AR bullshit that you have to do at the beginning.
Oh, I kind of like that. I thought it was cute. I thought it was a cute little intro for the because it doesn't really appear anymore in the game, so
Wow, that makes it even more redundant. But
it's
like
cute. I don't know.
it
I thought it was a
raises
nice little
way
intro.
too many questions of like, is this an alternate dimension, or is like, can she travel through dimension? There's just it opens up too many questions about the narrative that I doubt are going to be answered.
It's just a cute little thing. Big whoop. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with Bravely Default. I thought it was a very good return to form in the sense that it was very much a classical JRPG that honestly, like Square Enix was very much into, oh, we need to modernize everything. And, sometimes you just want something a little more classical, something, based on the RPGs that made us love them in the first place.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason I bought it, to be honest, because I'm going out of town for a few days, and I just want something easy to digest and kind of grindy to keep me occupied.
What's fun about that is that with Bravely Default, you can actually sort of, like the world ends with you, you can sort of just, no, wait, not really like the world ends with you. That was more with difficulty, but you can, sort of, like use a sort I forgot the word for it. Like a cursor in order to say like, okay, this is how many random encounters I want from nothing to all the fucking time.
Oh, really? I haven't
Yeah,
seen that yet in the options.
yeah. You can change that you can change that on the fly. So that's a really neat little
Oh, that can help
modernization of
with
the system.
the grinding as well.
Yeah, absolutely. To get as much initial grind as possible, or say your party is dying and you only got like 3 health left and you don't have and you need to go to a nearest inn in order to get all your health back, then you can just put it to 0 and have no monsters pop up, which
That's
is a
actually
fun.
quite useful. I didn't know
That
that.
is quite useful. But yeah, speaking of old 3DS game, the game that I've been playing finally after all these years is Fire Emblem Awakening. Like I've made my stance on Fire Emblem quite clear over the past couple of years on the internet. It just initially has not been a franchise that I really got into, at least with the older games like Path of Radiance, the Radiant Dawn, those two on the GameCube and Wii, the DS ones. But after all these years, I just decided that I wanted to give it another chance, and I wanted to do that with Awakening. And yeah, so now I've been playing that a bit. And of course, I haven't gotten extremely far yet, but it's a lot of fun. I'm really, you know, sort of trying to get into it, and it's very like what's interesting about this, and it's like Fire Emblem was like Awakening was very famously supposed to be the last Fire Emblem game, like the very last shot. Otherwise, they would continue. They would drop the franchise. But yeah, lo and behold, they did it. It's very popular, and yeah, I'm really like I'm going to play more of it at some point. You still there, or
Yeah, I'm just not entirely sure what to say because like I'm I'm also not that into Fire Emblem. I think I said last week that I'm not really into I don't like the idea of permadeath in games.
Well, Fire Emblem, you can turn it off.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Awakening.
also but there's one thing in Fire Emblem that you can't turn off, and that's weapon degradation, and I hate that as a mechanic.
Weapon degradation sucks. I'll fully admit that. That is like it makes sense, but again, it's just like, I don't like it. I just want to keep these weapons. Like,
Yeah,
let's see,
because
like, how far did you get with Awakening?
barely into it.
Okay, it just wasn't a game you could get into, or
No, I had the good fortune that I got it for. I think there was a sale or something when I bought it. Uh, but I never really got that far into it, mostly just because.
I bought it for $25 or so. So which seems like an okay deal. Like I always tried to find like a secondhand copy, but even those were really expensive. Like they were full price games almost.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm glad I found this deal, and now that I can continue to do that. Yeah, the thing is like I'm not sure. Like I find it interesting that we're both playing 1 to 2 year old 3DS games that both have a sequel coming out this year. In fact, this month even, because Fire Emblem Fates I know is coming in February in the United States, and we're getting Bravely Default or Bravely Seconds on February 25th in Europe over here.
Yeah, that's
That's
kind of a
that's a
cool
fun little,
coincidence.
yeah. Like I'm kind of just curious. Like I hope these games are like I hope the sequels are good. Like I saw that nice Bravely Second collector's edition. Now, I'm probably not gonna get that, but it's a very nice looking collector's item. But we'll see. I may get the whole Fire Emblem collection thing if I get enough into Awakening.
Oh yeah, that collection. Yeah.
Yeah, which has like the whole story doing it for about $80, I believe. But yeah, do you want to move on to some gaming news, or do you have some more stories to tell?
Not particularly. I mean, I got the limited edition of Life is Strange yesterday
Ah,
for
nice.
PS4, which includes the game, an art book, and a soundtrack CD.
Okay,
And the
sounds
soundtrack
good so
CD
far.
actually comes in like a nice jewel case and everything.
Oh,
It's
nice.
got pretty sweet cover art. Um, the sound the art book looks like a photojournal kind of because it's supposed to be Max's photojournal and she's
Okay.
the photographer.
Yeah, I know. I know who
Um,
Max is in the game.
yeah, Max Caulfield. I haven't played it yet, mostly because I've mostly been on my PC. I haven't really turned my PS4 on in a while. But I've at least got my setup ready, so now I can basically because I'm using my TV as my PC monitor, but I recently
Oh yeah.
also got an HDMI splitter, so now I can just switch over to my PS4 just by pushing a single button. So that's fun.
Nice. That is nice.
Yeah.
I remember like putting my like my desktop on my TV monitor, and it's just so nice when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just so nice to have that giant ass screen. But anyway, I think we can then move on to the gaming news,
The
and we've
things
got
that happened this week, which is like two things, I think.
we got four things that really big, and we're gonna do something different. Like I'm gonna name topics, like the four things that we have, and then you can pick which we'll talk first.
Okie doke.
FNAF World, GOG,
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu,
Uh huh.
Mighty Number Nine.
Let's talk about Mighty Number Nine first, just because I
Yeah,
love to rag on Mighty Number Nine.
yeah. As you are probably very much aware, Mighty Number Nine was a game that like it was during the big Kickstarter boom. Capcom, everyone was hating on Capcom because they were canceling Mega Man games and all the stuff. Inafune left the company, and then the Kickstarter of Mighty Number Nine happened to pretty much make a new Mega Man game. And lo and behold, it's they promised a release date of I believe somewhere in 2014, and that hasn't happened. Not by a long shot.
No. In fact, it recently got delayed again.
This is like the third major delay for Mighty Number Nine, and this time it is because of online issues, like between matchmaking,
Which
and
I didn't
also
even know it was getting online.
the fact that every like making that it like that problem is also that it's on so many different platforms that it makes it more difficult to fix all those things. Because right now I look at the list, it's on PC, Mac, Linux, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Wii U, PlayStation, and 3DS. That's a quite an amount of systems. Like it came out like again, you have to sort of imagine the Kickstarter came out before the PS3 and PS4 had the PS4 and the Xbox One had properly launched. And
Which,
yeah, we're 2 years into that cycle now.
yeah, here's the thing about Kickstarter is a lot of game development, and I obviously have no experience with game development. A lot of game development is stuff we don't see as consumers. So
Yeah,
like it's entirely possible that there are a lot of games we love that got delays that we don't know about. But
yeah,
Kickstarters and crowdfunding making everything so public means we get to see every good and bad thing that happens.
yeah,
So you have to you as a Kickstarter funded company are basically forced to do your own PR, whether that means promoting your own game or just having to deal with every single backlash that you will inevitably get when something inevitably goes wrong.
yeah. But yeah, this has been the third, and of course there was the whole Red Ash thing. So everyone's just like, "Okay, Inafune, what the fuck are you doing?" And it's just it kills so much excitement that the game initially had. Like I was initially excited for the prospect of Mighty Number Nine because I like a good Mega Man game, and this is the guy that created Mega Man. So I'm just like, okay, sure, I'll take that. But since then, it's just been like the game itself doesn't look particularly great. Like it doesn't look awful, but it doesn't look amazing either. There was the whole fact that, oh, we're gonna spin it off into everything. It's gonna get an animated movie. It's gonna have a TV series. There's gonna be a live action movie. It's just like, dude,
Just make the game
stop.
first. Like,
Yeah.
calm down.
And now, of course, it's also the kick in the teeth that it's, because of online issues, which I'm gonna quote Colin Moriarty, who is from Kind of Funny, who's a big Mega Man fan. I'm going to give Deep Silver slash Concept free advice. No one gives a flying fuck about Mighty Number Nine's online modes. Release the goddamn game.
That's all there is to it. Yeah, I
That's
mean,
that's all there is to it. Because I can only assume the single player is done. I mean, I don't know, but that just seems likely to
like
me. That
why does it need an online multiplayer mode?
I have no idea.
Like, is it gonna be um like a versus mode or like online co-op or what? You mentioned that it was matchmaking, so there's inevitably going to be like a versus mode, and I don't know. That's really weird.
Yeah, it's all just been a big giant mess for them, and it's been kind of sad, when you just look at it and just you initially having so much hope, and then it just all comes crashing down. And of course, the ones who didn't have hope to begin with are just laughing their ass off.
Yeah, like me.
I want it to be good. Well, do I want it to be good? Well, I want every game to be good, but at some point, I'm just like, I'm not sure if I'll buy this because it's all just like at some point you just feel kind of over and done with. But yeah, that's all I really have to say on Mighty Number Nine. Shame it got delayed again, and it now has a big release date of spring.
See, like at this point, this just might as well happen, just because it's already such a disaster. You know, it's been like you mentioned. There's been Red Ash. There was like the huge aspirations where I think it really could have benefited from just like, set some slightly more realistic goals for yourself and just try to do what you need to before do what you want to. And I think Inafune, talented though he may be, um, I think he got too over ambitious, and so
Yeah.
that's causing a lot of issues in like development time and poor management of his Kickstarter and all that stuff. And it's unfortunate to see it go this badly, but at this point there have been so many things that went so badly that it is kind of funny.
It's becoming a moment of Schadenfreude where you're just enjoying that you know, like, oh look, it got delayed again, and I wouldn't say I enjoy watching them fail, but it's just kind of like, God damn, guys, this is, this is just getting kind of sad.
I mean, this reminds me that another thing that popped up on my Twitter feed earlier today that Michel Ancel,
Yeah,
the guy from Ubisoft,
yeah, I know him.
he
I like
recent
him.
he recently released a statement. Hang on, this was on Nintendo Life, I think.
Okay, what happened? Because I know that he did like something with Tim Schafer, like they're playing. I know they played Rayman 2, which Rayman 2 was the shit, so I really like that. And I think they recently played Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, yeah. He says that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in the works.
I believe it when I see it.
Exactly. It's just like, how about you show me the goddamn game already
Yeah,
instead of promising that it's in the works for 12 years?
yeah. Like when it's not when we don't get to see a proper trailer, I'm not gonna buy that it's in development. Simple as that. I just want. I'm done hoping every time a Ubisoft E3 is happening that they show Beyond Good and Evil 2. I just want them to show it and be done with it, and then I can be happy. But
Yeah, because I really want that game to come out. I haven't played much of Beyond Good and Evil, but what I have played was friggin' great.
yeah, I same. I just want I finished Beyond Good and Evil 2, and I played it back in the GameCube Xbox days, and I really want a sequel. But at some point, it's just like, come on, just fucking release it already. Just release something because this has been it's been in talks for so goddamn long. And when Wild was revealed, I kind of thought, yeah, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is done or something like that. But apparently not. And Michel Ancel, I love you, man. You've made some phenomenal games. Just show it already. And I assume you don't have the power over that. I assume that's more of the higher ups of Ubisoft who are in charge of that. But we haven't seen anything since 2009 or so, which is almost 7 years ago. So please. But anyway, those weren't one of the four topics that we had.
No, but I was reminded of just like things taking way too long.
Yeah. So now we've got Detective Pikachu, GOG, or FNAF World.
Let's switch it up. Let's have a happy story. So let's go with Detective Pikachu.
Oh my god, Detective Pikachu.
It looks adorable,
What's there to
honestly.
say? Yeah.
I don't
The
know what
whole
kind of game it's going to be.
I want to say it's like a
Presumably a
puzzle
detective game.
game, but there there was some talk about this Detective Pikachu thing when they were sort of doing like facial capture stuff, and then Pikachu was one of the things they used, and it looked terrifying, and apparently it was going to be used for this sort of detective style game, but that was years ago, so everyone just kind of forgot about it. So when this thing popped up, I was suddenly like, "Oh yeah, that was a thing," and now it's here, and it looks super duper weird.
And my favorite thing about it, you've definitely seen this, that there's currently a petition going to
Oh yeah,
have
I saw this.
Danny DeVito do the voice of Pikachu in the English language version of this game, which
It'd
I
be too
think
perfect.
would be amazing.
It would be.
Please, please, Nintendo, give us Danny DeVito as Pikachu.
Yes, I completely agree. That would be fucking awesome. I want to see it. Like at first, we gonna have to see if this game gonna be even ported to the Western. Like I think it's coming out February 3rd already in Japan, so it's coming up really soon. But yeah, I definitely would like to see this in the West and playing it with my Danny DeVito Pikachu. And again, of course, we have to see what kind of game it really is, because that hasn't been really revealed yet. But it's Pikachu. He has a hat. He has a magnifying glass. It takes place in Boston, apparently.
That's oddly specific.
They figured it out, apparently. But I want me some Detective Pikachu, if only because it just looks super duper adorable.
Hell yeah.
Not much else to say other than it exists and it looks pretty crazy, but I kind of dig it. Anything? Okay. Final two topics.
Let's go back to the fun negativity with FNAF World.
Oh god, FNAF Worlds.
Yeah.
We talked about it a bit last week.
How it looked
FNAF World
terrible. Not like a bad
terrible
game, it just looked visually terrible.
Yeah. Terrible may be too light a word, I'd say. It's more like vomit-inducing. And I genuinely mean that. In the sense that I watched a Let's Play, or the Squirty Play from Jim Sterling playing through it, and his live stream for it.
Yeah.
And the game was genuinely making me sick.
I didn't get that bad, but wow. I think it gave me a headache, mostly.
Like, the screen is constantly moving, there's flashing strobe lights, like, there's constantly stuff happening, and it's just, oh my god. And the game, it just looks so fucking ugly as well. It just looks, ugh. And then, all of that combined just made one of the worst viewing experiences of a game that I've ever had, ever. Because I don't get sick easily when it comes to stuff like this. I can deal with a lot of stuff just fine, but this was really messing with me. I don't know, am I over exaggerating? Am I did anyone else have this experience?
I know I didn't get queasy, but it's like I'm pretty sure it gave me a headache, and it definitely does not look good. But the point we're trying to get at here, because there is a point here, it was pulled from Steam.
Yeah, but basically,
because Scott Cawthon was not happy with it, and I can't blame him personally.
Yeah,
because I looked at what was going on in that game and stuff, and a lot of the stuff was just poorly explained.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of stuff that wasn't explained in the game itself. Just, there was a the game world was supposed to look like the battle system, but instead he went for the, almost the Atari game kind of route, which, if you've played one of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, you probably know those by now.
Yeah.
It didn't explain what attacks, did, though that was later patched in the, during the live stream that Jim Sterling did. But yeah, even then, they stuff not explaining everything properly, the random battles just occurring almost immediately after you take another step, battles being confusing, no idea. It was a huge mess, regardless, and I'd say good on him on removing it. But at the same time, shame on him for even releasing it in that state.
Yeah, because it was originally supposed to come out later, right? We were talking about it that it was coming out next month, and then suddenly, the day after we record, the day that we recorded last week's episode, it's just oh, it's out now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a weird situation, and now, it's... Get credit where credit is due. He is refunding people, apparently, and he's also going to be releasing the game for free afterwards on Game Jolt, when it's actually finished.
Oh, okay, wow.
Because, hey, he doesn't have to do it for the money anymore.
That's true.
But, yeah, besides that, the game, I'm glad it's pulled. and I do not get people that have defended the game, but I'm assuming that a lot of people just don't know any better. Like the 7-year-olds or 8-year-olds who for Five Nights at Freddy's their favorite franchise right now and stuff like that. But I'm just like, if FNAF World is the best RPG you've ever played, dude, Final Fantasy VII is on Steam. I think Final Fantasy VI is on Steam. Yeah, it's the shitty graphics one, but it's still Final Fantasy VI. Like, go play that.
Hell,
Like,
I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that Final Fantasy IX is coming to Steam.
it is, yeah.
Which is, like, a lot of people say that it's literally the best one.
Yeah. Hell, like, go play a Pokemon game or something. Just, no. FNAF World it's not one of the best RPGs ever made. It's not even one of the most average RPGs ever made. It is bottom of the barrel somewhere. I don't know. That stuff just made me kind of mad in the sense of, oh God, why do people like this? Like Five Nights at Freddy's, the actual games, they made advantage of the fact that they weren't the most graphically amazing games or most demanding. They just, kept it all to a minimum. And this just looked, nah, I'm done talking about it. Fuck FNAF World. McCoffin, he seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Cawthon definitely seems like a cool dude, but wow, this is a mess. Like,
Yeah.
just release it when you say you're gonna release it. That would have given you the extra month to actually polish it instead of like, surprise, but it sucks. Surprise
Yes.
is out, but it also sucks. So, oops.
Exactly. Moving on to our final message of the day is it's sort of similar, but quite different in the sense that FNAF World wasn't released as an early access game, but Steam is of course filled to the brim with early access games that aren't quite finished yet.
Most of them are
or
terrible.
Most of them are terrible. You get some good stuff from early access stuff like Darkest Dungeon. Broforce was early access for the longest time.
Nuclear Throne.
There's a whole Nuclear Throne as well. There is a bunch of stuff.
Though it's worth noting that all three of these games are now out of early access.
Exactly. But yeah, there's a controversial thing on Steam, especially since some games don't get finished. A lot of them are terrible, and it's just not a good time for everyone. But GOG, which is known for being much stricter when compared to Steam on what comes on its store page or not, has decided, yes, we are going to have early access games on there called in development.
And they have, like Tom said, they haven't opened the floodgates. There's 5. I think 5 games that are up on there right now.
Okay, and there is is this different from early access? They have, I've got the store page here, sort of giving the announcements. Early access means the opportunity to try games early and participate in community-driven development, as well as the chance to support a game's production. Our take on games in development is all of those things with the additional benefits of the GOG.com way. Quality over quantity. When choosing the games that are a good fit for GOG.com, we make sure we pick the ones we can truly stand behind. Good job. 14-day refund policy. You can download, play, and refund any game in development within 14 days of purchase. No questions asked. Rollback in GOG Galaxy. Keep playing your games in the newest update if the newest update is not doing it for you, or revisit historical version snapshots.
That's a really cool feature.
Yeah, so basically playing an older version that you there's a lot of controversy with Darkest Dungeon changing stuff, and that's playing the community apart. Oh, and the games are DRM free because that's the GOG way.
Hell yeah.
So, with all that added, this sounds way better than just, GOG is doing early access.
Yeah, and the games that are on GOG in development are Project Zomboid, Starbound, TerraTech, The Curious Expedition, and Ashes of the Singularity.
I haven't played any of those games, so I can't really judge them. But
I've heard of Starbound and The Curious Expedition. I don't know the other ones. I'd
yeah,
heard of Project Zomboid, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. Starbound is kind of like Terraria in space, and with
okay.
other
So it's
extra
like
cool things.
okay,
And The Curious Expedition, I don't really know how to describe, but I have a friend who really likes that game. It's sort of like a roguelike exploration-ish kind of game.
okay.
I haven't played it, so I don't really know how to describe it, but I have a friend who really likes it, and he's played it for like 40 hours. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
But yeah, with all those things in place, I do think this is so much better than what Steam is doing, which is just fuck it, put it there, put it there, put it there. I don't care. Quality control, what's that?
yeah. As long as they pay their $100 fee, we'll let them on there.
Yeah, well, that's green light,
Oh yeah, that's true. That's Greenlight.
but yeah, this just sounds so much better than what Steam is doing, and I don't think GOG is gonna have a green light type thing, if only because GOG really cares mostly about what gets on the store page, that it is something legit and something people can enjoy. I
Yeah.
mean, not all the stuff on GOG is great. I mean, Bombshell just recently came on there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, Bombshell is very good. Just wanted to mention that,
And
even though I haven't played it.
just to make
But it,
sure that everyone heard it, Bombshell isn't very good.
yeah,
It's getting such blisteringly amazing scores as 2 out of 10, and
yeah,
more bomb than shell.
yeah. So yeah, again, if in a perfect world, all the games on GOG would be great, but then what would make them great in the first place if we can't compare them to terrible stuff? But you know, good on GOG for taking something that could have been disastrous and doing it properly, more so than their competitor Steam. But of course, they still have plenty of time to fuck it up. But let's hope they don't. And I think that about does it for gaming news, but that doesn't mean we're quite done yet, because a new month means new games. Because we last time we talked with January, we discussed stuff like The Witness, Dragon Quest Builders, Final Fantasy Explorers, Paper Jam, FNAF World. But of course, there's plenty of more stuff coming. Quite a bit, actually, and we're going to discuss the games. Not all of them, but some of them. The games are coming between February 2nd and February 9th, and we're using the American release date here, I believe. But there's some good stuff here. Not
Definitely.
gonna lie. Well, the first game on the docket is American Truck Simulator.
I I can't say I'm very interested in it, but I know a lot of people really like these games, and I can kind of get the appeal. I've just never tried it, so the
Yeah,
fact that there's another one coming out, that's cool. I know Euro Truck Simulator was fairly popular, so
Euro Truck Simulator was very popular. Yeah, especially on the streaming crowd.
yeah.
But I mean, it's not really my type of game. It's weird that we used to always mock these type of simulators, and now they seem to have a genuine audience in them, which is more power to them. I'm not gonna give people what they want, and there hasn't been a like we got the first two European ones, and now we're getting the Americas, and there's always like the road trip is very much an American thing, so it could be fun. Then there's Cobalt, which is a game from Mojang, who made a little game called Minecraft. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
And Scrolls as well.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, it looks like a 2D platform shooter kind of thing. It looks okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty exciting,
Yeah, I'm
mostly.
not really I can't really I'm not personally excited for it all that much. I just maybe I don't really see what's making it different, at least not from the trailers.
It kind of reminds me of Awesome Knots.
It does have that vibe, yeah, but Astronaut had the whole 80s 90s cartoon thing down.
Yeah, true.
But So yeah, that's coming out on PC, 360, and Xbox One. A game that I am excited for, against maybe my better judgment, but let's I'm just hoping for the best, is Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Yeah, where to begin with this game? This was originally a Vita game that came out in Japan in June last year, and it looked really really cool. But of course, it's a Vita game, and it's a Digimon game, and Digimon hasn't been relevant in years. Though the fan base is there, but lo and behold, we have a case of a poll actually working. Bandai Namco listened and was like, okay, we'll give you the game. In fact, have a PS4 version as well. But the game now, there's a PS4 version coming. That's the only one that is boxed. The Vita version is digital, and fair enough. And yeah, it's made for more mature fans of the franchise, like the people that grew up with Digimon, which frankly probably is the main Digimon fans right now. Because I'm not really sure like how kids are really into it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 21. I can no longer, unfortunately, consider myself a kid. So I don't know the popular culture that the children like anymore.
The kids.
I don't know what the youth are into these days.
How do you do, fellow kids? But yeah, this is there's no dubbing, for example. The voice acting is still Japanese, though the text is in English and all that stuff. And it looks like a bit of a standard JRPG, like sort of the turn-based battle system. But it's Digimon, so like, it's been a while since I played a Digimon game. I played the Dawn and Dusk games on DS, which were interesting.
They were pretty cool.
Like I think, yeah, they were all right, but yeah, it just looks like a good time. It's made by Media Vision, who is best known for the Wild Arms games, which are some pretty fun RPGs. And I don't know, maybe I'm just feeling very nostalgic for Digimon because I did grow up on it. Even though I still need to watch the new Digimon movie that came out, which continues the story of the original people.
No, really, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, what's your past with Digimon, if any?
I don't really have much of a past. I watched. God, I don't even remember which one it was. I feel like season 2, the one with the black gears.
Oh, yeah, that's the one, yeah.
I watched a bit of that, and that's about it, really.
Okay.
I don't really know much about. I understand Digimon. I know what it's about, but I never really got into it super much.
Yeah, it was something I really got into as a kid, if only because it came alongside Pokemon and all that stuff. And it was very similar, and the monsters were cool. So I watched, we got the first and second season of Digimon here in the Netherlands, and then they stopped. Like, we didn't get season 3, 4, and 5, which were much different. Like, they didn't, 3 is actually, where the old Digimon show is a show in that world. It's all very meta and stuff. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It looks like a good time, even though, you always have to be careful with Digimon games. They are of varying quality.
Yeah.
And that's coming out on PS4 and Vita. Similarly, here comes a Vita game coming to PS4 in the form of Gravity Rush Remastered.
I know Gravity Rush was one of the launch window games for the Vita, right?
It's sort of
not like a launch title, but launch window, soon after launch.
Yeah, I think it was a launch game for the Japanese Vita, but I'm not sure.
And apparently that game was really cool.
The game is cool. It has some awkward controls here and there, but it is definitely something that you can imagine. It was one of those games you imagined couldn't be done anywhere else, and of course now they're doing that anyway. That's also what I thought of Tearaway.
and that's on PS4 now. And apparently that port was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I can only I hope that the Gravity Rush port will be similarly good.
Yeah, it's made by Bluepoint, and they are known for really good ports.
Ooh, yeah, Bluepoint did the HD remaster of Age of Mythology.
Yeah, they've done like that's their gem. Like they did the Nathan Drake collection.
Oh
They've
yeah, they did that as well.
they've done
No,
Metal Gear Solid HD
Bluepoint didn't
collection.
Bluepoint didn't do uh Age of Mythology. That was Skybox Lab. Sorry.
They did the Icon Shadow of the Colossus collection.
I hope that gets a PS4 release, just like on
Either
PSN.
they know their shit around about a remaster or all that stuff. So that this is probably going to be a good introduction to Gravity Rush, especially now that it has a confirmed sequel. And like I bought the original, like the Vita one for $10, and I'm playing that. I've played that a bit, and it's fun. But I'm definitely curious what they can do with it on a much more powerful system and on not a portable.
And on a system that isn't also failing.
Yeah, let's not mention that. But even though, there's no saving the Vita. Though
No.
Cyber Sleuth may do it. It's coming to Vita. It can be saved. Maybe. Also coming to PS4 is Mega Dimension Neptunia V2. I believe. Like reading it, it seems like Mega Dimension Neptunia 7. But apparently there was Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory. And now there's Mega Dimension Neptunia V, which stands for that victory, 2. This shit's confusing.
This has the same naming conventions as Nintendo, aka shit ones.
Oh wait, apparently it was called V in so I guess that's sort of mixed. But anyway, it exists.
It's an RPG. I'm sure some people will like it. I know next to nothing about it, but it's
There's
coming out.
Big fan base for Hyperdimension Neptunia, and I don't really get it.
I don't
like
doubt it.
it's meta in the sense that it's about the console wars sort of ish, but you wouldn't really I don't know, like it just doesn't appeal to me, and it's all too moe for me, and that's just not something that appeals to me.
No, me neither.
But this is like Compile Hearts, who are the people behind. This is like their bread and butter. They also the ones. I want to say that they do like the Senran Kagura games, and
oh no.
Actually, I don't think they did that. So no worries there. But they are known for these type of games. So yeah, you kind of know what to expect by now. It's hard to be really mad about it, but here we are. Enjoy it. Another HD port that's coming is Tales of Symphonia HD, which is coming to PC. Which is a good game, you guys. Go play that. Like, I played it back on the original GameCube.
Is that the one that was ported to 3DS? No, that was Tales of the Abyss. Sorry.
Yeah. Tales of Symphonia got ported to PS3, I believe. And now it's getting a port to PC. Which is funny in some, because the game was originally out on the GameCube. Then it got a Japan-only PS2 release. And now it's on PS3. And now it is coming to the PC. So if you ever want to try this JRPG, which is one of the few Tales games I like, this might be worth checking out. Though don't play the sequel. It's terrible. Speaking of sequels, and one that probably isn't terrible, Xcom 2.
Yeah, so Xcom 2. I own Xcom Enemy Unknown. I have not played Xcom Enemy Unknown. I'm pretty sure I saw, there has been some coverage of XCOM 2 already.
Yeah, some people have been playing it.
Yeah, I know Matt Leese of Cool Ghosts is a really big fan of it.
Of XCOM 2 or Enemy Unknown?
Both.
Okay, nice. Good to hear. I think that if you're a fan of XCOM Enemy Unknown and Enemy Within its expansion, you're probably gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, this is the story is actually quite interesting in the sense that it follows it it assumes that you lost in the last game, that you lost the war, and that's the
Yeah,
starting point. Is XCOM losing the war
yeah.
with
Like
the
they
aliens?
not just losing the war, they've lost the war. That's the humanity has now been overtaken by aliens, and XCOM is now just sort of in secret and going to fight back against our rulers,
Yeah.
which is a super interesting premise. I actually really dig that. It's a very much a different take on it. And now there's also snake people, or Sneeple, if you will. Yeah, there's like snake. I think the original title is Snake Man. Like these are from the old games, but so far we've only seen like the female Snake Men.
Snake
But
women, if you will.
yeah, and they have like boobs, which is really weird because that doesn't make sense for a reptile. But anyway, anatomy
Welcome to video games.
exactly, or any kind of entertainment really. But yeah, I really like its premise. I'm not really sure like what they've changed in terms of gameplay. I still need to like I've played a bit of Enemy Unknown and I really like it.
Apparently,
But
it's not so much build satellites to win the game anymore.
yeah, it's much more based on stealth, I believe, in the sense of you have to make sure that the aliens don't all get you. That
Yeah,
you
it's
have,
entirely possible to finish missions without like alerting the enemy and stuff.
I'm curious. I now have a PC that can run it, so that's nice. But yeah, I'm gonna wait to see. I'm first gonna play a bit more of XCOM Enemy Unknown and its expansion. And if you wanna play that, it's at time of recording, it's still
Right,
on Humble Bundle.
there's also a big 2K sale on Steam right now.
Yeah, so if you want to get it, now's your chance and get yourself prepped for XCOM 2. So yeah, it's probably going to be a good game.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. On February 9th, we have a whole bunch of interesting games.
Oh yeah.
Not including Alakina's Gun,
Oh,
which
that game looks awful.
just look it up for yourself, people. It looks like a PS2 game
It looks
got
like an early
lost.
PS3 game. Let's be fair.
Yeah,
It looks like early
yeah,
PS3.
yeah. Got lost somewhere and is now suddenly a PS4 title from a company called Maximum Games, which I've never heard of.
You may know them as the people that did the PS4 port for Putty Squad.
Ah, that classic gem of a game.
You know, a game that was originally on like I want to say Commodore 64.
I wanted to say the same thing as well,
Yeah.
but that's not interesting. Also, not particularly interesting, though maybe that's not totally fair. It's Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia.
I mean, we've
Oh,
seen what India looks like. We've seen what China looks like.
yeah,
So, I mean, there's not going to be anything too unexpected about it. And on the same day, there's going to be a bundle that has all three of them in there. So if you're into those, that could be cool. You know, I'm
yeah,
not super into them. I prefer my Assassin's Creed 3D. Although, on the other hand, the 3D Assassin's Creed have been garbage lately, so I might actually look into these.
maybe you want to get like, have you played Syndicate yet?
No. I haven't
Maybe
even
check.
played Unity.
Okay, maybe check Syndicate out because that's a lot better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy it, like, at full price.
Okay, fair enough. Um, then there's Dying Light: The Following, which is an expansion to Dying Light. Eh,
Apparently, it adds, like, a really hard nightmare mode.
okay, good for them. Like I know a lot of people really like Dying Light. I I haven't played it, so I
I mean,
can't
I
judge.
already am not that big into zombie games, and this one just looks like another zombie game.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, there's like the day night thing is kind of cool, but other than that, it's just like zombies and first person parkour, and that's about it, really.
Yeah. Um. Finally, well, not finally. We have a game you're really excited for, Firewatch.
Yeah.
I'm still more on the fence of I have no real idea what it is, other than sort of like a first-person adventure game that looks really pretty. But I'm still trying to see, okay, what is it actually? Like, what's it about? Kind of like the whole Gone Home situation of, okay, what's that really about?
Lesbians.
Yeah, true. But, like, sort of understand what the big, like, sort of see what critics are saying about it, and then seeing if it's worth jumping into. But, you know, it does look very pretty. I'm not going to deny that. But we shall see. It has a pretty darn nice, like, lineup of people from Telltale's The Walking Dead, Mark of the Ninja. So it has some street cred to it.
Lots of talent behind that game. So it's probably going to be good.
Yeah, we'll see. Finally, we've got what's probably... No, XCOM 2 is probably the biggest game on here. But the game definitely... that I'm definitely the most excited about. Or maybe that's Cyber Sleuth. But, you know, it's a game that surprised us all back at E3 2015. That made us instantly fall in love with its character and its developer. And that's Unravel.
Yay! It's so cute.
Yay, Yarny.
Boo, EA involvement and probably Origin only, so get it on consoles.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be... Yeah, you probably have to go and get it on console with the whole EA thing. But, that aside, damn, this looks fun. This looks like a fun little...
Oh, my heart.
Yeah.
I need it in my life. It looks so pretty. It looks so cute. And Yarny.
Yeah.
Yes, Yarny.
Yarny's such a cutie pie. Like, just the Twitter account. Like, I'm gonna be sad when the game is out, for like, after a month or so, and the Twitter account has to obviously slow down and not release cute little fan art or fan-made Yarnies and him having all his crazy adventures trying to play his own game.
I'm not entirely sure, because I think a lot of people will be very excited when it actually comes out and like start sending it all this fan art and stuff. So
yeah, we'll see. But you know, like, there's something very human about this game. Like, Coldwood hasn't really done much stuff other than like cheap licensed games that you know aren't well received and all that stuff. And this was very much a passion project. You could see that almost immediately when the dev came on stage at E3 with his nervous way of speech, his shaking hands, and just the honesty, which felt just really out of place at an EA press conference. But yeah, it looks really, really cute and really fun, and hopefully it's good as well. I mean, I don't know what you like. If you have anything further to say about it.
I mean, I've said my piece on it. I think it looks adorable, and I think it's probably going to be very fun. So, yay for Yarny.
Yeah, it's gonna be curious, like, if they're gonna continue if it's gonna be a franchise or this is more of a one-off. It does seem like something very personal to the devs, and it just feels weird that this is something that EA is publishing it.
Unravel 2, Yarny's back, and this time it's personal.
Yes. Maybe. You never know. I think that's about it for the games. I mean, one day later, there's going to be a Valkyria Chronicles remaster coming to PS4. Well, you know, people really dig that game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we shall kind of see what that's like. But that's about it for the games coming out this February. What stands out to you the most out of all those games on there?
Firewatch, for me.
Yeah.
I know for you it's Digimon, but for me it's definitely Firewatch.
Yeah, for me it's definitely Digimon with Unravel at a very close second.
Same for me. Unravel is up there. Yeah.
I really want that. And XCOM 2 also looks really cool. It's just not the genre that I'm most interested in.
Same.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure it's gonna be streamed to death. People are gonna love the shit out of it. But I'm more into my Digimons and my Yarnies.
Your animes and your fabrics.
Yes, exactly.
So, does this mean that you're gonna get a Digimon love pillow? Because this is, like, the only obvious combination between the two.
Yeah, I'm sure they exist. But no, I'm probably not gonna go on the deep end here.
Funny story about love pillows, actually. Last summer when I was in Canada, I went to an anime convention in Vancouver. and they were selling those there, and it's the first time I've ever seen them in person. They are really expensive.
How expensive are we talking?
I don't know. I want to say like 70 Canadian dollars, which admittedly the Canadian dollar is in the absolute toilet right now. But
I'm not spending $70 on a pillow.
I mean, it is a very large pillow, admittedly.
True.
Like one Canadian dollar is 71 US cents. So it's not worth all that much, but I'm just trying to think like yeah, 70 Canadian dollars is about 50 US dollars. That's a lot of
Yeah,
money for a big ass pillow, you know?
yeah. But it has your waifu on it, so, it's all worth
Yeah,
it in the end.
true.
Anyway, we've got some questions as always. And as always, like, we usually go and ask them on the Twitter sphere, when we want to get some, of them, but we have two of them right now.
And it just you don't only have to ask them when we ask, you're always like free to if you think of something, just send it to us and we'll remember it for when we record next and answer it then. So,
Yeah, exactly. Like, put them in the comments or so, and we will be sure to get to them at some point during the next show. So yeah. Do you want to get started on the questions, or?
yes, okay. The first question from Lord Enigma. Uh what is your favorite movie that most people consider to be a bad movie? That's a very easy pick for me. I've gone on the record. I've gone on social media, talked about this movie a lot because it's terrible, but I love it, and that is Ghost Rider 2: Spirit of Vengeance.
Oh God,
Yeah,
Ghost Rider.
I talk about this movie a lot. It's very much a guilty pleasure for me. The most of the acting is awful. The story is pretty standard, but what really sets it apart is the awesome filming because it's Neveldine and Taylor, and they can make any action. They make action movies look amazing. And the special effects. The Ghost Rider himself looks way better than he does in the first one, and he just looks really threatening and really good. Nicolas Cage does a pretty good Nicolas Cage performance. Um, One particular standout scene is where he really has to go ham on a guy, and so he Nicolas Cages it up like crazy, and it's amazing. I don't want to give details, mostly because I can't imitate the great and illustrious Nicolas Cage. I don't dare to presume that I can. But yeah, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. It's glorious and stupid and beautiful and terrible.
I agree with you on the last part. It sure is bad. It's credit where credit's due. It's better than the first one,
Which isn't hard to do.
which isn't hard to do because the first one is boring as all hell.
Oh, it's so dull.
It is such a dull movie. Like, and this one is definitely a lot more fun, but it's not good. It
No,
really fucking sucks. And like, there's the scene with the crane, which is cool.
the digger, you mean?
The digger, yeah, sorry.
That scene is a gift to mankind.
It's very metal. But I think like there's one reviewer that talked about Melody and Sarah, and they're the same people that made
Crank.
yeah, Crank 1 and Crank 2, and they also made the Gamer, that Gerard Butler movie.
Oh yeah, that movie was apparently not very good.
Yeah, but this is what they said about their camera work. It's like you put a camera in a toilet and flush it.
That is kind of what it is. But
Yeah.
it especially works for car chases and stuff, but it does also work for action scenes. So
I don't know. I just like it tries to be this, oh, look how crazy we are, and then there's just moments where it's also just kind of dull and boring. I don't know. I did not dig it, and people apparently didn't really dig it either because it bombed. And then afterwards, I think Ghost Rider is back at Marvel now,
I wouldn't be
but even they're
surprised.
like, but even yeah, I'm pretty sure it's back, but even they are like, yeah, we're not really doing anything with it. Um, Probably my favorite movie that most people would be considered terrible, and it all really depends on who you're asking. Because if you're asking, you know, the regular people, good the people that aren't into it, most people would just say, "Oh yeah, this sucks. This I like. Why do people watch this crap?" But out of sheer nostalgia, the power that is so power. Like I have to go with Pokemon the first movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's I cannot bring myself to dislike that movie. There's just so much emotion there for me, and like it's one of the first movie I ever saw in a theater. Not the first, that was Disney's Tarzan, which is a great movie.
I hesitate to call Pokemon the first movie a bad movie. Like it's not great, definitely, but it's like it's pretty okay. It's kind of
Yeah,
melodramatic, especially near
yeah,
the end. But as far as a first cinematic outing for what is a pretty silly and a pretty silly show, it's honestly like it doesn't do too bad a job.
yeah. Going to more like other directions and sort of movies that I wonder why I like, but that most people consider bad is Evan Almighty, which is the Bruce Almighty spin-off with Steve Carell.
Really, I've never seen it.
It's not good, but somehow, like, I'm a Steve Carell apologist. I'm just a really big fan of his work,
I didn't know that. Okay.
and yeah, for some reason, even though like it just, I just kind of like it somehow, and it's been years since I've last seen it. So that probably has changed. And when I see this, like, good lord, did I recommend this at some point? But I don't know. Like, there's just something about it. And there's it obviously has to compare to Bruce Almighty, which people like a lot more. But I don't know. There's just something. And the characters are like very very different from both movies. But there's just something about it which makes me go, I kind of like it, even though it appears in like a bunch of worst comedies ever lists.
I don't remember it being particularly well received at the time, no, but I never watched it. I wasn't that big into Bruce Almighty, but I liked the movie like enough, I
Yeah,
guess, but not enough to go like, "Oh, sweet, there's a sequel."
yeah. And there's also, of course, a whole bunch of horror stuff you can name. Like I'm a big Nightmare on Elm Street apologist, and I like some of the shitty movies that they did. But that's also more out of a nostalgic thing, I believe, rather than like a lot of bad movies that I like. A lot of it is through nostalgia. That just sort of colors everything. Because the Digimon movie, for example, is also terrible, but there's a charm to it.
Yeah, that
But
charm
there's
is called
something
Summer Wars, which is the
yeah.
same movie but executed properly.
Summer Wars is great
I
because
love Summer Wars.
the fun thing about Digimon the first movie is that it's so obviously like
Three different movies
it's three different movies combined.
chopped up into pieces and Frankenstein
Somehow,
together, yeah.
yeah. I don't know. It's not good, but it exists, and yeah, there's probably more movies out there that are bad that I like, but I can't really think of them right now because I'd like to believe I have good taste. But then again, we all love our schlock.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the second question?
Our second question comes from the Stickman.
Good old Stickman.
What is the weirdest game/game related thing you've ever owned? For example, mine would be Guitar Hero on Tour. Um,
What is Guitar Hero on Tour?
it's the DS version.
Oh, that thing! Yeah, with the little
Yeah, the
that you had
little
to.
hand grippy thing. I had it too. I had Guitar Hero on Tour Modern Hits or
Yeah,
Modern Rock Hits or something. I had that game. It was nuts.
it was nuts. Yeah, I remember that. It was pretty crazy that they managed to make a semi decent Guitar Hero game on the DS.
Yeah, it was, and honestly, a lot of music that I got from that game is still in my collection today. Like that game really got me into the Kaiser Chiefs, and I still really like them today. That game got me into the Foo Fighters for a while, which sort of ended, but then I got into them again, and they're still in my music collection. Um, that's really kind of cool. I'm trying to think, like, I almost want to say Guitar Hero on Tour is the same for me, because that game, when you think about it, that shouldn't have worked, because, like, you have to turn the DS sideways, and it doesn't work on the DSi because it needs to plug into the GBA port, and then
Yeah,
you need to have just the right shape of hand to be able to use your pinky finger to hit the last button on it, and it's just a mess.
yeah.
But honestly, I had a lot of fun with it. I think I named my band Iron Weasel. I don't know why.
Um,
Don't ask me.
yeah. I've had some, I when I get something like when I really like a game series, I get some weird tat that just fun because to represent the series, and like you can include the amiibos in there though. I'm not sure
They
if
aren't
that's
exactly weird though, you know.
no. The Probably the weirdest thing that I own is the Fallout mini nuke, which is basically, well, it is what it is. It's a mini nuke. You press a button and it makes a bomb noise, and it comes included with all Fallout games except 4 on disc. So that's a bit of a
Oh, that's
but
pretty cool.
yeah, it's a nice little collector's item. I like looking at it. It looks nice on the shelf. And yeah, the other thing is probably the collector's edition of Fable 3.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I was really into Fable 2. So
Honestly, Fable 2 is a good game.
Fable 2 is fucking awesome. I really like that game.
I'm really pissed that it's the only one that doesn't have a PC version, because I would
Yeah.
buy that in a heartbeat.
And then I pre-ordered the collector's edition of Fable 3, which is the first like collector's item, the only one technically I ever owned. No, wait, that's not true. I own the Last Story one
And the mini nuke. Come
and
on.
the Xenoblade. That's not really that's more of a collector's item than a limited edition.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it includes like a coin, some playing cards. It comes in a leather book thing.
And it also contains a really shitty game.
Yeah. Fable 3 is a lot of wasted potential, which is synonymous with Fable when you think about it.
Yeah.
But the issue is there's some good ideas there, and then there's like when you get to the king part, it just completely falls apart.
Well, I mean, the inventory system isn't one of its great ideas.
It's an interesting idea. I'll
That
give
you have
it
to go to
that.
the sanctuary every bloody time.
Yeah, well, you get teleported to the sanctuary when you go into the menu, but there's obviously like it adds a bunch more personality, and John Cleese is your butler and all that stuff. But yeah, it could have been a lot quicker if it was just a menu. But speaking of like John Cleese, it reminds me, Fable 3's voice cast was fucking nuts.
Yeah, it really was.
Let me get the list. Michael Fassbender is in there. Naomi Harris, Nicholas Holt, Stephen Fry, Ben Kingsley,
What?
Simon Pegg is in there.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not that surprised that Simon Pegg is in there.
Jonathan Ross is in there as well.
Okay.
It's just a crazy amount of great British talent out there. Oh, like I'm trying to see if there was anyone else, but
Like, if this came out a few years later, fucking Benedict Cumberbatch would probably be in this goddamn game.
yeah, it's one of the greatest British voice casts for a video game, certainly. Like even people like just Michael Fassbender already, who's now going to be in the Assassin's Creed movie. So it's all come full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I'd call that an episode. We've done over an hour, so
Yeah, okay, then I guess that is it. Well, this has been episode 11 of the G1 Features Pocket. If you want to listen more, go check it out on YouTube or, of course, on the G1 Features website. We just recently posted a new G1 interview with one of the oldest G1s around, Super Luigi 64.
it's worth noting that there will not be a G1 features episode next week because, as I said earlier, I'm going out of town, so I can't exactly record something I'm not there for.
Okay, exactly. So let's, I'll note there, it's going to be a while, but we'll be sure to be back with some great new stuff, hopefully, for episode 12. You can follow me at the Madhero on Twitter, and of course, follow me on G1 Features, where all the stuff gets posted. Where can they follow you?
You can find me on Twitter at Gear12_Turbo.
You're here for Gear 12
Yeah.
underscore turbo.
Yeah, all of that, that's my Twitter handle. Absolutely.
Exactly. Well then, I guess that is it, and I'll be looking at my Fable 3 Collector's Edition and sob at the money that I've spent on it.
And I'll be looking at my Life is Strange limited edition and not doing that because it
Well,
is a good game.
You don't know that, you haven't played it. But, it's probably as good.
Yeah.
Much better than Fable 3 anyway.
Oh!
Well, on that note, bye everyone!
Bye!